This thing open.
You know how like advent calendars for kids, those chocolates?
Yeah. Yep. We got one.
I'm like that with pumpkin pie.
No, it's my first Marvel movie. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, you got to see a Marvel movie in theaters." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll go see Spider-Man."
Maybe they should have been in there because I have some opinions on why Georgia is in the playoffs. They should not be in the playoffs.
Oh my god!
Why should
Not
they?
you.
They just lost.
Welcome to the Beer and Sports Podcast. I'm Josh Wingate. He is Josh Kimmel. And it looks like our stuff is not showing right now for some reason. I'm gonna blame your boy over here for our stuff not showing right now. No,
showing what? Showing what? What is not showing?
Our display names. I got them up though. We're all good. We are a part of the Fins Talk Sports Network. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We're at Mugs and Balls. Fins Talk Sports is the network. How is it going today, buddy?
Going pretty well. If you've watched me or listened to me for the past 4 years, I've been on YouTube several places. RIP, pink headphones.
They are officially RIP.
That's I'm gonna throw them away. I'm so upset right now. But yeah, watching 2 football games apparently on Monday night. I hate this. So much.
Why do you think they did that this week and not the week before?
Because the week before was Aaron Rodgers. You're not gonna. They want the biggest star, the biggest name, the biggest story on the biggest night, and that kind of fell flat. Obviously, as we watched it live, but now they did it week 2. I hate it. I think it's a terrible idea. It's awful. You're competing against yourself.
Yeah, but it's kind of not competing because it's not till later in the day or later in the game. But I will say I have officially hit old man status. I really went to watch the Colorado game on Saturday, and I started watching it. It was good. The game was intense right out the gate, and then I just got so tired I couldn't watch it.
Yeah. Should play every NFL game at different times. Dave, that's not the point on Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football is one game. Dave is an idiot. I have no time for Dave. Dirtbag Dave, I'll see you tomorrow at noon, by the way. Yeah, dirtbag.
So with that, today we're going to talk about the week 2 recap. Obviously, we're about to get into the Dolphins because Dolphins is what we need to talk about. But we'll also talk about the other games of the week as well. But first, let's get into like a little brew review, if you will. We have my beer. You're not drinking anything, are you?
I'm not drinking.
I got too many lights here. True Action IPA. It's a Dogfish beer. It says, as I crack that open because I'm a man of the people. Man of the people. I like to crack that open so people can enjoy the crack. You know,
they want to hear the crack. No, I don't. It hurts my ears.
No, it doesn't. You're lying. You can barely hear it with your non-pink headphones now. So the style is a continually dry hopped IPA. And it's a small batch collaboration with our pals at Trillium. True Action is a hazy IPA, continually dry hopped with an iconic blend of hops for maximum juicy flavor and notes of mango, pineapple, and candied citrus.
Sounds delicious. So I was hardcore in the beer game. I've quit beer, but I drank beer recently, by the way. I had an IPA 2 nights ago. But my beer of the week, I guess if we're doing this, is somewhere you can find in Miami right now. If you're ever in Wynwood, there's a little place called J. Wakefield. J. Wakefield is probably my favorite brewery of all time. Miami Madness has dropped last week. That used to be a beer I would line up for. That used to be a beer I would drive down to Miami for. Now that I'm retired from the beer game, I don't. But if I find someone with the bottle, I'll be super happy. It is ranked number 1 best Berliner and number 2 best Berliner on beeradvocate.com and ratebeer.com. It's a sour Weiss, sour ale, fruity, sour tart, 7%. And it's got guava, mango, and passion fruit. It's one of the best beers of all time. So I know we have some Miami listeners. Obviously, we're a Miami Dolphins. That's why I'm bringing it up. And this beer just dropped. So hit up Jay Wakefield. Tell him I said what's up. Get yourself a pour. It's delicious.
So you're retired from the game. I do have to find out. Are you like a Brett Favre in the game? Are you going to like potentially come back?
So I was just on mybeercollectibles.com, which is a very illegal website where people sell beer on the secondary. I know it's stupid. Like who sells beer on the secondary? Trust me, there's a market. And the beer prices have dropped. So, and I was looking, I'm like, dang, I haven't had 2023, whatever, only $35. 2 years ago, this thing was $300. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy how the beer has just fallen off. But
It's like an NFT for you. Like, oh man, this thing used to be like $5,000. Now it's like down to $100. I'm gonna snack that up because it might become retro and I'll be able to grab it.
yeah, listen, let me tell you this. I spent many of dollars secondary on Jay Wakefield brews. Many of
You
dollars.
can hardly even find Jay Wakefield in like the uh, Fort Lauderdale area. Like,
Well, they don't distribute that much, but good brewery, go down there. It's fun. Graffiti, Star Wars. If you're a nerd, especially.
yeah, they do. Like, I think I previously told you at one point, like I go off of the can. If the can's cool, I'm going to grab it. I'm going to try it out. They do have really cool cans. Jay Wakefield does. What is? I do have a question for you about beer. As we're in this, what's the one beer that you cannot get your hands on that it's like the one that got away?
It's never not happened. We've always closed. I hate to say that. I really hate to say that. You want to know why we kind of quit beer? Because we've had it all. Anything you could possibly think of. We've had from all the top dogs. Seriously. And it's not like a humble brag, like, oh wow, we've had all the beer, but like we have. So at what point do you stop chasing? We've had it all. I've had $1,000 beers, I've had $1 beers, I've had literally anything that's been made.
But there's always something new coming out.
But it's not good anymore because after COVID, the beer really died off. Breweries couldn't get their hands on their essential needs to make these fresh brews. So then they started using vanilla extract instead of pure vanilla. So therefore, the beers have gotten shittier and shittier, and nobody drinks it anymore because it's just not good.
Okay,
because they changed their. But
way to shit talk our entire premise of the show. Well, guys, that's the end of the beer.
No. But that's why it doesn't hold value anymore. But it's still good to drink. Like I'm still gonna pick that over a Coors Light. You know what I mean? Like I'm still
for sure. There's obviously going to be more flavor in something that someone might have just swapped out vanilla extract to, rather than just put water in a can and said, "Here you go, here's beer."
I'll never forget one of my favorite beers of all time, Rocky Road. Just imagine Rocky Road ice cream. You can't mess up Rocky Road. You just can't. It was one of Angry Chair's top beers year after year after year. You can't mess it up. After COVID, it messed up. Hey, why is this messed up? Well, we couldn't really get the ingredients, so we had to shortcut a lot of things. Yeah. They've been shortcutting ever since because when you're an owner and you figure out you're going to shortcut stuff.
Profit in the margins.
Exactly. So now these breweries are just shortcutting stuff. Before they were not.
So mine is it's a beer that actually, when we first started this show, back when it was Adam and myself, we had a beer called St. Nicholas Pickle. And it's something I can't find anymore. It's in New Jersey. I want to go up there in New Jersey and find it. I think it comes out around this time of year, but it's a pickle beer. It tastes like it's beer mixed with pickle juice. And when you drink it, you immediately think, man, this would go good with like a cheesesteak or something like that. And it's just, it's fantastic. It really is. So I want to see if I can get my hands on that, but it's the one that's gotten away because I went back to where I previously got it and I can't find it again. And I asked them, I was like, hey, do you guys carry St. Nicholas Pickle? And everyone looks at me like, what are you talking about, bud? This is a liquor store, not a grocery store.
So in the comments, tell me what kind of beers you guys like drinking this time of the year. Football season, you like to crack open an IPA? Are we cracking open lagers? What are we doing? Some red wine? I know that I've had a red wine phase. I think we all have.
I'm sure you're in that red wine phase now, trying to be like
low key about it.
Yeah. So with that, what did you do over the summer before we move on? Or summer, what did you do over the weekend? Anything cool happen? Other than football, nothing cool. I had something cool happen. That's why I asked. I was hoping you'd come up so I didn't have to seem like I was pushing this topic here.
Nothing cool.
We went to a beer fest. Small, nothing crazy. Just a couple local breweries, but also attached to that, the event was called Brews with Kangaroos. So beer festival, you can go in and you can hang out with some kangaroos as well. So hung out with some kangaroos over the weekend.
Nothing. I did nothing. I didn't leave the room.
That sounds like a good weekend to me. So with that, let's get into probably what everyone's here for. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. They had a game last night, and my daughter is freaking out right now. And it was
so are Dolphins fans, because we're jumping with joy of all happiness. Number 1 team in the world. Number 1.
Oh, okay. So Miami won 24-17 against the Patriots. What are your takeaways from that game? How far along in that game did you get to watch it? Because I know you're an old man and you probably fell asleep.
I'm glad you asked.
So yeah.
So I made it about seriously,
the coin toss
right before half. I was kind of dozing in and out. I'm tired. All right, look, staying up past 8:30 is very difficult these days. I know my friends don't believe me. I try to tell my friend, because I'm in a Madden league where we have I'm like 8:30. I'm out, dude. He's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Yes, I am. And my buddy Davey, who you know, Dave, we all know Davey. He texts me, "Oh, cute, you and Finley have the same bedtime." He's like, Fortnite. I'm like, bro, I wake up at 5 a.m. like all these Fortnite messages. I'm legitimately 8:30. I'm asleep. So anyway,
if it's 9 o'clock, I'm not texting you, because I know you're either asleep or you just don't want to talk to anybody.
Yes. So anyway, I made it almost to halftime, and I was really impressed with Tua, of course. I think he's been money all season. I know it's only been 2 games, but he was very accurate, didn't miss any any throws, nothing bad, nothing horrendous.
Yeah.
The run game was awesome. I know that Mostert lit it up after I fell asleep, but I did watch some highlights, and it did look like they finally got the running game going, which is impressive. That's something I'd like to see more of. I know we want to see Tua throw for 340 yards, 400. That's fun, but it's more fun to win. And when you have a running game going with this offense, it's excellent. And man, I don't know how to evaluate the defense. 1 week you got Joshua Kelly torching this defense. The next week you got Ramondre getting kind of shut down. Not all the way shut down, but just slowed down. I don't know if that was impressive, like they improved, or I don't know. I don't know what happened.
So no, I completely agree with everything you just said. Watching the Dolphins, I was able to watch the entire game. And before the game happened, we saw Bobby and Fish Tank Hank on the network. They had a pregame show, and on there I joined it, as I do probably every show in the network most times. Some of them I try and just mess with and get people angry. I'm not going to say what show that is, but it's the OUS Fantasy
Wednesday nights.
So with that, I said that I think the Patriots are going to come in, and their game plan on defense is going to be, let's get in the dime. Let's make them beat us through the run, because last week they showed that they can't run the ball. So I'm going to stop the pass. I'm going to try and double Tyreek. I'm going to make you look at your other options, have them beat me in the pass game if they can, and then I'm going to force you to run. And then immediately out of the gate, Mostert was just dominating, hitting every hole, getting big plays. It looked fantastic. The run game didn't stop. The run game was a big part, and it was a complete win with this team, other than Jason Sanders not kicking well during the game.
I saw the block. Didn't they block a field goal?
They did block a field goal. They had, and it was like innovative as can be. Field goal block where they kind of motioned them in, and we see that in punt a lot. It's just he transferred it into the field goal, and a lot of Dolphins fans on the post-game show on the network were like, oh my God, was that illegal? Like, no, defensive players can do anything. They can square dance if they want to.
Who was saying it wasn't illegal? Who was saying
there's people in the chat asking if it was illegal.
Okay. Calm down, guys.
Yeah, so it's not illegal. You can square dance if you want to. You can have a flash mob before the play starts, whatever, on defense. Offense has to be still defense, can do whatever.
The only thing you can't do is act like you're going to jump over the line.
Yeah, you can't do like encroachment, or you can't pretend like you're doing the snap count or something like that. The only things you can't do. But I felt like every question that a Miami Dolphin fan had expressed, or I heard, was answered in this game. Defense stepped up big. Defense played amazing. The run game came through. Tua is just playing lights out week 1, week 2. You have to give him his flowers because he's just playing fantastic.
Money. Like his throws are unbelievable.
And I forget who it was. I believe it was AJ, a part of the network, said Tua is making throws that he has never made before. And it's 100% true. Like Tua is making these throws. While he's been accurate, he's making these deep throws that are pinpoint accuracy over top of defenders. He's playing lights out right now. And if there was an offensive player that's MVP right now, it's going to be Tua.
Oh, Tua, if the season, I said this last week too. If the season ends today, Tua's the MVP. I know it's only week 2. I know I'm overreacting. Every year
Let's be honest,
we have
it's
that
not
guy.
just Tua. There's a competition for MVP for Tua.
Who?
Michael.
I'm asking. Okay. All right.
It's the truth. That's why I said if there's an offensive player that's going to get MVP right now, it's going to be Tua. I do think there is strong competition right now with Michael Parsons, just with how the defense is playing and everything of that nature. It should be fun. So
I think, but I just think in the end, offense always usually wins the MVP. Tua has that slight edge, and he's been did you watch? I saw somewhere today that he is the favorite on like FanDuel Sportsbook or DraftKings. He's the favorite. Tua is for the MVP. Yeah,
I can see that just because of the position that he's playing at.
Yeah, so
he did have. So we had Tua, 249 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Raheem Mostert, 18 carries, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, if he can continue this, or not even, like just give 75% of what you did in that last game, continue that throughout the year, you have a run game. Like it's going to be beautiful. Jalen Waddle kind of stepped up when he needed to because Tyreek was being covered, as you expected Bill Belichick to do. Take Tyreek out of the game, see what other people can do. There's one player that just constantly keeps flashing on tape, and that's River Crawcraft.
I knew you were going to bring him up.
He's flashing like no other.
Flashing on 2 targets, 2
yeah,
catches. He converted them. Listen, I knew you were going to bring him up because he did make those incredible, because those catches are incredible. He makes really great football plays. He does. But Jalen Waddle's being evaluated for a concussion. I haven't really read the news today or been on the internet, but I do know that he did leave the game with a concussion. That leaves you with Tyreek Hill, River,
Braxton
Berrios. It's not looking good. It really isn't. It's paper thin, this receiving core. You can't expect Craycraft to come in there and take on that number 2 role, or Berrios, or any of them.
I think they look good though. I think Tyreek Hill is a weapon enough. Yep.
But this is what they signed Cedric Wilson for, and he's been a 0.
That's what I was going to say too.
And yes, and that's why I'm saying they needed him. What was I saying all offseason? If you listen to me, they need a third. Every great team has a third these days. Seattle did it when they drafted JSN. They have Tyler Boyd over there in Cincinnati. Everywhere, even Gallup over there in Dallas could be a pretty good third. Everywhere has a good third, whereas Miami just doesn't have anything. Not even their tight end's a good third.
Yeah, I think Braxton Berrios is a good third. Like Braxton Berrios is playing really well. He's not getting the crazy numbers.
Could they move up to be a? Could they move up to be a 2? Because I don't think they can.
I don't know. I know Cedric Wilson can move up to be a 3. But yeah, I don't know Braxton Berrios. But the thing is, Tyreek Hill is that much of a weapon that he is your 1 and 2. Because he's that much of a weapon that he's going to take 2 corners to cover him. So most likely the other guys are going to get a lesser coverage corner on them some way, somehow. So they're going to be brought to the element that they're used to, and they should be able to excel at that.
There you go.
If that makes sense for you.
It makes sense for me. It's just really discouraging. If you don't have Waddle for a game, it's kind of scary. That's all. Because like we saw Tyreek not get shut down last night, but can get taken away. And these other guys, I don't know if they can step up.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you saw, but Van Ginkel,
yes,
he was amazing last night.
Here's
he
a guy
really well. Yeah.
I was awake enough for Chris Collinsworth to go over this guy like nuts, and I loved it because I think he's great too.
Yeah, no, he's playing well. Jalen Phillips didn't play last night, so Van Ginkel got more ability outside rush, and he played really well. We didn't really see anything from Agba or Bradley Chubb, but Christian Wilkinson made some plays. Xavier Howard did what he does, made some picks, and it was just an overall good defensive game, which gives me, and I don't think this is the best you're going to get out of the Dolphins. I think they're still learning, they're still meshing, they're still gelling. So, like I've been saying, 3 to 4 weeks, so next week to the following week, I think you're going to get the product that you're going to see for the rest of the season, hopefully. So I would be excited if I'm Miami about this defense, what we saw out of the run game, and then what we know this passing game to be. I think we're seeing a lot of potential around this team.
It looks like the Broncos are coming to town. Week 3, Russell Wilson not looking so great.
How do you feel about that situation? Like,
dude, Russell Wilson's toast. He's cooked. Unfortunately, it's just I was watching the game with Gino, and I saw him make a play with 2 plays with Lockett where he just rainbowed it in, and I'm sitting there going, not to take anything away from Russ, but was Russell Wilson a system quarterback?
Yeah, was he?
Because it looks the same. I'm not saying Gino looks exactly the same, but the rainbow balls to Lockett, the pinpoint accuracy, like, is that just the coaching staff? And is that just Tyler Lockett? And is that a system? Because holy moly, I've never seen him play this well, ever.
Yeah.
And then when Russell Wilson leaves, he's just complete trash. Right away.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but Russell Wilson, I still have faith in him, but I'm losing faith in him quickly. I can't see Russell Wilson going from that and just being garbage after, but I mean, he's with a good offensive mind. You would think you would see better play from him. Or what are we drinking over there? Like vodka? Like, yeah, it's just straight vodka.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you going hard in the paint.
I have an addiction. I kid. I just wanted. No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to get a little buzz for the show, but
yeah, definitely.
Did not like that vodka. It's Tito's.
So with that, any last thoughts on the Dolphins? If anyone has any comments or has any questions about our thoughts on the Dolphins, please fire them in the chat. We'd love to get to them.
I think the Dolphins are put up in a good spot, 2-0, coming out of these 2 weeks, obviously, and then you get the Broncos and you get the Giants. That can easily turn into a 4-0 before you face the Eagles. No, wrong. My bad. I'm reading it wrong. Bills are after the Broncos. I'm a little too buzzed, guys. No,
wow, that was quick.
But if you don't drink a lot like me and you're healthy and TB12, it kind of hits you a little bit harder.
Yeah.
No. So if you go into if you get the Denver game, you get that win. It's a little bit more cushion for the Bills, and then once you beat their ass, go for the Giants, and you're set up for success. I love it.
There you go.
Just get a third. Hold on. Trade for a third. Can we get? How would this team look?
Oh boy.
With a Puka Nacua. Just they're getting Cooper Kupp back. They have no need for this Puka Nacua guy.
Yeah, they're going to keep that
sell
guy.
High.
We'll get to that in a little bit in a couple of segments from now, because I did fire a question to you, and I think it was a valid question, but you just wrote it off as nothing. So with that, we talked about the Miami Dolphins. Let's talk about the games that we saw this week. What do you think was, in your opinion, the game of the week?
Game of the week, obviously Detroit, Seattle. That was the most fun I had watching football all day. Oh, you give me the maybe no? Dude, that was much fun. They were going back and forth.
I value your opinion. I don't think you're wrong.
Jared Goff was throwing dimes before that interception. He was probably the best I've ever seen Jared Goff play football. He seemed poised. He was making throws to Josh Reynolds and Khalif, whatever that guy's name is, and he's just distributing the ball forever and ever and ever. David Montgomery was awesome before the injury. I don't understand what they're doing with Gibbs. I have no idea why you trade up and draft this guy and just decide, you know what, we're good. Yeah. That kind of confused me. But and like I said, Gino just dropping dimes, going toe to toe, head to head. That was just like a heavyweight battle. Could see that easily being the NFC playoff game easily.
So I think a lot of games this week were really good. We had the Baltimore-Cincinnati game, Seattle-Detroit. We also had the Jacksonville-Kansas City game was just like weird. It was ugly. It was bad. Like that threw me off completely. Kansas City's offense looks awful. Like, not good at all, and it's weird. Their defense looks amazing, but their offense is just not clicking. This is what everyone expected the offense to look last year.
Could you hear that?
Hear what?
For real?
What?
Okay. I clicked on the stupid website and ad played. I'm like, I hate the stupid ads.
No, I can't hear that.
All right, cool.
But the game I think was the game of the week was the San Francisco 49ers LA Rams game. I thought that was just a fantastic game. I truly thought the 49ers were going to come in here and just wipe the Rams. Like, I didn't think it was going to be an actual game, but it did turn out to be an actual game. And it shows, in my opinion, how good the Rams are this year, and that we need to consider the Rams as an actual team this year, because week ones can be fluky. But if they come and show up again week 2, like they did, the Rams are here to compete. And I thought that was one of the best games this week.
No, I agree. Who knew the Rams were going to be so good with a healthy Matthew Stafford? This Puka guy, unreal. He's just like, I don't know how to put it. He's just, where did he come from? Why did nobody draft him? This is why I don't understand NFL scouts and anyone in general. You let this guy slip to the 5th, 6th round, whatever he was. I don't comprehend sometimes how players get missed that much, like Brock Purdy. How did he get missed? How? Multiple teams. Even the 49ers missed on him multiple times. He's really a game changer for this offense. And when Cooper Kupp comes back, I don't know how they're going to utilize both, but it's going to be scary. Both of them, you don't need anyone else. That defense can use some work, but the Rams look fun. They look intriguing. I don't think they're better than Seattle. I think Seattle's more built to compete later down the road. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, I think their run game is looking very good in Seattle. Defense looks really good. And they have a quarterback. They have a quarterback that's ready to go. I will never say go Dolphins. I mean, I guess I just did.
Yes.
But yeah. My wife was excited to put the daughter to bed last night. I was like, you know what? You watch your game. She was able to watch it. Kimmel's giving like the dad eyes right now. Like, you better go to bed right now.
Yes.
But yeah, I think the Rams 49ers game was really good. My favorite game of the week, though, was the Cowboys game, obviously, because I felt like the Cowboys, each week it looks like they're really good, but then each week everyone downplays how good they actually are, because this team reminds me a lot of the Georgia football team that I'm used to watching. The defense is just fantastic, and you're rolling your eyes.
This is like, hey, this is like me doing a show with Viking Dave, and the Vikings win 50-0 or whatever. Yeah, the game of the week was the Vikings, because
I didn't say that was the game of the week. I said
my favorite game.
49ers Rams was the game of the week, in my opinion. But I said my favorite game was the Cowboys, because they're coming out dominating. They have a really good defense, and their offense is playing efficient and methodical.
Methodical.
Yeah, that word.
Mythological.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Listen, Josh. Listen, your team won. Woohoo! You beat the crappy Jets. Woohoo! Like, move on. It really, really sucked. Because if we're talking about the good, we gotta talk about the bad. About the bad. I was having a really good time watching Anthony Richardson run all over Houston, and I was having a really good time of C.J. Stroud trying to catch up and really show well. He played really well. And I really hate the concussion that happened with Anthony Richardson. That just took the wind out of my sails. I think he was going to have a monster game, fantasy-wise as well. I think me and OUS had him as our quarterback one start of the week. We thought he was going to be the number one quarterback going into this week. He would have been if he didn't get concussed. That sucked. Just want to say that. Chiefs offense in a whole sucked. Tired of them sucking so much. And I want to say this sucks because I hate to admit it. I hate it. I'm going to push a button. I hope this is the right one. Nope.
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Baker is so much fun to watch.
Oh, yeah?
He's not good. Hold on. Don't get it twisted. But so much fun to watch in Tampa Bay. I was just talking to my buddy who's a Bucks season ticket holder before Brady. He's a hardcore Bucks fan. And he told me this team is way more fun to watch because last year felt like missionary. They were going through the motions. Tom Brady, they knew they weren't going to win the whole. They knew they sucked. It's just methodical offense, boring. Same
Okay,
plays.
I like how you threw that in there to say, "Hey, I can pronounce it better than you can." I see what you did there.
But
continue.
but my thing is, it with Baker's, he's winning me over because this could be a situation where he proves himself, and he is the quarterback going forward, and he's playing well enough to do that. He's winning games. They're 2-0, and he's like I said, he's slinging it in a Big Mike Evans. I love it. It's just so much fun to watch a team like this. No, because you know why? Because nobody thinks they could do anything, but that division could be won.
Yeah, I agree with Pamela here. Baker is so extreme. Like, he looks bad at one moment, then he looks great. But that's just Baker. Like, you give and you take a little bit with Baker. And it's just everything in his life. He's up and down. Windy road with Baker. But I thought what you're going to say is when you said I woke up feeling dangerous, you're going to talk about Gardner Minshew, because that's your boy too.
Mm-hmm.
He looked decent. Like, he came. You didn't like him. You went 23 for 19.
I got to say something to Pamela because she says the Bucks running back is carrying them. Rachaad White's not good at football. He did have a good game. That defense is carrying them. They disrupted Kirk Cousins week 1. They were causing mistakes, turnovers, and they contained Justin Fields. The Buccaneers. Nobody gave them a chance. I told everyone on my OUS fantasy show to bench Justin Fields because this defense on the Buccaneers is flying. That defense is carrying that team right now. But
I do have to say, you're talking about the running backs. I don't know if you remember a guy that I fell in love with in the draft process. Liked him because
Sean Tucker.
And
That's the guy who's going to carry them.
Everyone is saying, go grab Sean Tucker because Rachaad White is going to be the guy.
Yes.
Sean Tucker is going to come in. This guy is fantastic. He's a workhorse. He'll come in.
Yes.
He's not the fastest guy. He's not the biggest guy, but he can make the plays.
Pamela, and that's when the Buccaneers running backs will because Rachaad White's not it, but Sean Tucker is, and people are going to find out. But you know what?
And I was shocked when I saw it. Someone said, everyone rostering Rachaad White, go and grab Sean Tucker. And I said, Sean Tucker, that name sounds familiar. So I made sure it was the right one, and I was like, let's go, because that's my guy.
I do want to talk about Gardner Minshew for a minute, just for a second. We all knew he was going to play games this year because that's what Gardner Minshew does. He always plays games. Yeah. Now, would you hold your quarterback out and not let him play this week, regardless of like if he's cleared or not, or would you put him out there to win? And because you have
if he's
Gardner.
Not cleared.
No, if he's cleared, would you still put him out there, or would you give him because you saw what happened with Tua? You don't want that situation to happen again. And this is
it would depend on the severity of the concussion. I think I would push him. I think whatever the regulations are that he has to get through, the hoops and the jumps that he has to go through to play this week, I would make them a little more extreme, make sure that he is 100% okay. And if he gets through that, I would say yes. But if not, and there's just one little hiccup in anything, let's sit him. But because I do feel comfortable as Gardner Minshew as one of the better backups in the NFL, that he can come in here and win us a single game. He's not going to come in here for a prolonged period of time and keep us in it. So, yeah, I would say depending on how he shows the entire week and the hoops that I put him through, if he's good, let him go. If he's not, sit him.
How stupid do the Falcons look? They could have Gardner Minshew as their starter, and they'd be way better off. Like 10 million times better off. 10 bajillion times off. Desmond Ritter's got to be the worst quarterback I've ever seen.
And people were out there at the Senior Bowl like, oh, Desmond Ridder looks so good. And the entire time we were out there like, he looks bad.
Yeah.
Like his arm is awful. Like he's slow at his reads. He's just, not good.
He won the game for them. Congratulations. Like, that was awesome. Like, I loved what he did. His rushing attack is all right, but man, RIP Kyle Pitts. Why draft Kyle Pitts and just not use him?
Can they trade him?
Can they? I told everyone it was a terrible pick at the time because you took a tight end over Justin Fields. Not that Justin Fields is actually like special or anything, but he could have used him. And guess what? Any other tight end you could have had would have been great.
Yeah. Well, I also feel like you have to make him a receiver. So
They don't even use their number one receiver already.
I
Drake
know.
London, 5 targets. That's a joke, dude. That whole offense is a joke, man. It just drives me nuts. Kyle Pitts is a monster. He is a monster, and he
Yeah.
needs to be unleashed.
He needs to be a receiver. Like just you spread him out wide, let him play receiver. Don't worry about moving him in line or moving around like a tight end. Let him play receiver and let him be Calvin Johnson Jr. 2.0.
But let me tell
But
you about.
you need a quarterback that can get him the ball, so it doesn't even matter either way.
I don't know if we did an NFC show because it was a disaster time.
Yeah.
But I did have Atlanta winning the South. I think they were going to win the South. I still do think they're going to win the South. I think their defense.
I think New Orleans will.
We must have talked about it because I think we argued this, and I said Atlanta was going to win. But I do think that the Falcons improved their defense. We saw that their defense has been flying, and their run game is just undeniable.
Yeah.
Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson are both usable in fantasy. They're both awesome on the ground. They were wasn't Atlanta down like a couple scores, and they're like, we're going to keep running it, and they came back.
They're like they just need to do like the West Coast offense where they can short pass to the receivers, and then also use Bijan in the pass game because that you just need to get the ball to Bijan some way somehow in space.
And Pitts.
That guy, and Pitts somehow. I don't trade Kyle Pitts, please. I don't care where he goes, just trade him. I want to see him excel. Like you're wasting his career there. Like it's awful.
If the big quote from week 1 was, Drake London had 0 catches, but he doesn't care because we won the game. Do you think if you win a Super Bowl, these players would not care? Like, let's say, for example, they get all the way to the NFC title game and their numbers aren't great, but they're winning. Wouldn't you just be happy?
No.
Because you'd want the numbers.
In a team aspect, you'd be happy, but as an individual person, you would feel like, well, what did I contribute to this team and where did my value escalate from this win? Because someone might look at me and I don't have the numbers and say, okay, well, he didn't contribute enough or be a value enough to get that next contract, or even internally, you're like, okay, what do we need him for? I feel like there's still always that I need to show my value while the team is doing great. I still need to show my value and have my numbers look good so I can say I contributed to that.
Yeah, but if you win, you win, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, I'd be over the moon excited that we won, but then looking back at my season, I would say, okay, well, what was my contribution? Did I do enough to help us win and elevate my value in the NFL?
Like, do you think Ronald Jones walks around proud with his 2 Super Bowl rings?
Oh, I'm sure he does, but he still looks probably back and say, okay, well, what?
He didn't.
Look where I'm at now.
But he has 2 Super Bowl rings.
He does have 2 Super Bowl rings, but where's the money at? How much money did he earn compared to what he potentially could have earned if his value was bigger on those teams?
You're right. That's why That's why you guys should throw the ball to Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
he's droppable. By the way, he's droppable.
I might bench him and start Hunter Henry.
Not bench.
Oh, I'm benching.
He's droppable.
I know.
Tomorrow at noon, OUS goes live, by the way. You can catch me and Justin and maybe Dirtbag Dave. We'll be talking about your waiver wire priority picks, the news and injuries you need to know. So check me out tomorrow at noon, every Tuesday going forward. And, of course, Wednesday nights we give you our starts and sits, 8 p.m. on this network. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
No, you want to get into fantasy, right?
Yeah, I do want to get into fantasy. And you are somewhat of a self-proclaimed
I'm terrible
fantasy football expert.
Never said that. I'm good at fantasy football.
So I came to you with a question. I said, with Cooper Kupp coming back and Puka, Nakua coming back, or playing well, if he comes back next week and throws up another big game, because they're predicting that Cooper Kupp should be back week 4 or week 5. Do you try to trade Puka Nakua and maybe another player that's not producing like you expected them to for a larger piece. Maybe you can turn him for number 2 running back or something of that nature to help your team, rather than hoping that his production continues when Cooper Kupp comes back.
So basically, you're saying sell high on Puka,
Yeah.
package him with a underwhelming player. Let's just say, for example, DJ Moore, whatever, or someone of that
DJ
nature.
Moore, or let's say Alexander Madison.
Okay, no one's buying him, but yeah, right. Okay, Madison and Puka, for an upgrade. Let's just say the upgrade is somewhere in the T. Higgins range.
Yeah,
you're not going to get
that's
anything more.
exactly what I was looking at.
Because you're not going to get anything more than that.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked T. Higgins. That's just to see how good I am at this. So I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if for that specific thing, because you got Joe Burrow with a calf injury. I'm just saying that specific, right? Of
Yeah.
T. Higgins, calf injury. He's uncertain for next week. I've been telling you guys this all offseason since the injury. Watch out for that. You've seen it being effective already. T. Higgins had a big, massive game, blow up game, 2 touchdowns. Great. But what's going to happen if Joe Burrow's not out there? And Puka is out there catching 8 balls still, because they still need 2 receivers. Last time I checked in that offense over there in Rams, they are a pass heavy team. There's plenty to go around. And Cooper Kupp isn't just an underneath guy. He can go deep. He can do whatever you want. He's an ultimate receiver. Puka's still going to hold value.
Okay, let me throw this out there. Do you think you could package him and I'm just saying Alexander Madison because he's an underperforming running back on my team right now. Do you think you could package him for like a what's his name out in LA, the Chargers?
Keenan Allen?
For a Keenan Allen.
It'd be you'd have to, the person that roster Keenan Allen would have to be a complete moron to trade Keenan Allen for damaged goods and Madison and equal value with Puka.
Yeah.
So basically Puka
they're looking at what could happen with Madison. I'm buying the upside of Madison with Puka.
Listen, I'm in the same boat. Allen. If I have Alexander Madison, I'm packaging him with any kind of performing waiver wire edition, like a Puka or someone. Yeah. I'm doing the same thing, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Because like a Zach Moss, if I can throw in a Zach Moss with a, DJ Moore to upgrade a position, I'm doing that 10 out of 10 times. It's a smart thing to do. But what you really need to do in this situation is really assess, will Puka put up these numbers consistently weekly? And with the guy I'm trading for, he better be a super stud, because Puka's value is an all-time high. You better get a super stud. I don't think you can with him because people are afraid Kupp's coming back. And here's the thing is I would keep Kupp 1,000% or Puka, because we don't know if Kupp's going to come back 100%.
Well, that's what my next question was going to be. If Kupp comes back, has a decent game, do you try and package him because most likely he's not playing the entire year. Even he's going to miss some more games because it's Kupp. There's been a lot of concerns. Do you try and package Kupp for something as well?
Sorry, I was laughing at Pamela. She's like, I was drafting Kyle Pitts. Listen, I've been drafting Kyle Pitts since day one. It's been a torture.
I have a Kyle Pitts stamp on me that no matter what, I have to have a share of Kyle Pitts because that is my guy.
And it burns.
Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts so good.
Kyle Pitts is a my guy, and I went to the mountaintops for Kyle Pitts. Like, he is like the dude in my opinion. If he's not, but they're not using him correctly, so there's that.
So what were we talking about before? Oh yeah, trading Puka with Kupp. Listen, here's what you need to do with Puka in general. In any kind of like these receivers, you can have 2 top 12 guys. Look at Jalen Waddle and Tyreek. Look at T. Higgins and Chase. Look at Justin Jefferson, and I believe Adam Thielen did it about 3 years ago, or I think it's 3 years ago. It happens every year. Why can't it be Kupp and Puka, right? Why can't it be? It can be. Stafford has a great connection with both guys. We've seen that. Nobody's getting 15 targets from Stafford if you don't have a great connection. I believe when they add Kupp back, this team's going to be even more dangerous, and you're going to see even more points, which means more scoring opportunities for both receivers.
The thing is, it's not just like
I think he's a hold. I don't want to trade someone that can win you a league.
No, I agree. But it's not just Puka right now. It's Puka and Tutu. Then it's going to be Cup, Puka, and Tutu, spreading the share. And we all know that Cup is Matthew Stafford's like safety valve.
And
So
is Puka though. Tutu is great, but is he going to put up those? Is he going to be pushed to the side? We've seen players step in,
yeah,
like a Josh Palmer in San Diego. I wish they were in San Diego. God, so much cooler. Los Angeles. He steps in and fades away whenever the stars come back. Donovan Peoples-Jones tonight. He'll step in when Amari Cooper's missing time and he fades away again. Tutu is a guy who comes in and he'll fade right back out. I'm not worried about Tutu whatsoever.
But is Puka the fade?
No, Puka is not the fade because Puka's demanding the most target share. Period. He's not the fade.
Right. But my thought process in that is, and I get what you're saying. I 100% agree. I just wanted to ask that question because there is value in analyzing, is this a trade or not? That should happen, because if he does fall off, you have that thought process of, oh, look what I could have done with this player that was playing so high. I could have got so much more value in and actually use that to win for the rest of the year. So you do have to have that evaluation process in fantasy.
What about this? Puka straight up for Eckler. Now, hear me out.
Whew.
Hear me out. Eckler's out for a couple games. The guy
I would do that.
This is where you get creative. The guy who might need to win now, because you have Puka, you're winning. You're 2-0.
Yeah.
But this guy's missing Eckler now. He's desperate for a win. You can stash. It's pretty much getting like Eckler off the waiver wire. I don't think it's going to happen, but it doesn't hurt checking around. It doesn't hurt knocking on people's doors, because you never know what other people's thought process may be. If I'm 0-2 and I have Austin Eckler and I need a win, and I believe that Puka can get me that win, I might do it. Depends
if I have Austin Eckler, I'm probably not doing it. But if I have someone that offers me that, I'm taking Eckler all day, every day, obviously, because I know he's going to come back.
But what if you're 0-2 and you need to win? Look,
I'm taking that risk. I'm the type of person that I don't care to win now if I can win down the road.
Look, I want everyone to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. Fantasy football is a weekly sport. You do everything you can possibly do to win that week. It doesn't matter. It's a weekly game. At the end of the day, it's a weekly.
I do want to win every week. But if I can make a move today that helps me win tomorrow, I'm going to do it. And I say that as far as like, if I can make a move this week that's going to help me win next week and the week after that, I'm doing it.
So let's, for example, we are going a little late right now.
Yeah.
Let's say this is the stuff we talk about in OUS as well, and we're going to bring this up tomorrow. If you have Jonathan Taylor and you're 0-2.
Sure. You're talking to the guy with Jonathan Taylor and his 0-2.
But what are you willing to take? What are you willing to take to get a player that can help you win now? Because you drafted him,
bro. No, just kidding.
No. What I'm saying is, like, what's the least amount? What's the, like, a Brian Robinson?
I have him on my team too. I'm not taking anything because I'm 0-2 right now, but I know Jonathan Taylor, the expected win opportunity that I'm going to have with Jonathan Taylor. Like I say, I'm not trading something for this week if I can guarantee I'm going to get 2 wins the following week.
You're 0-2.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm not saying you specifically, but if you're 0-2.
No, it's me specifically in our league.
If you're holding on to Jonathan Taylor, I think it's time to cut ties. I think it's time to get someone to win this week 3, because, man, these wins do not grow on trees. And once you go down 0-4, 0-3, it's tough to make that climb up to the top.
The question is,
saying that.
Do you have to jump right now? Because I will go over my team right now. And I know for a fact I sat on Madison too hard. I played Madison last week. I played Madison last week because of where I drafted him, and I expected more out of him. He's going to my bench. And this week, Brian Robinson is jumping into the starting spot over Alexander Madison.
Jonathan Taylor or DeAndre Swift?
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor or Ramondre Stevenson?
It's going to be Ramondre, or no, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor. not
Jonathan
Ramondre.
Taylor or Najee Harris.
See, that's my dude. But it's going to be Jonathan Taylor because I know Jonathan Taylor can win you a league.
Ooh, no bench. Sorry, I'm just reading. Pam.
Yeah.
But I know Jonathan Taylor can win you a week. But what I'm saying is,
Not a
he
week, a
could win
league. He can win you the league.
Yeah, but not if you're 0-5.
Yes, he can. Because if he comes back that week, he can literally have you win every single week because
He's
he
not-
is that good.
He's not better than CMC. And CMC is the only person that can get you out of that hole. And Justin Jefferson.
So
And possibly Kelsey whenever he decides to play football again.
my team's actually pretty good.
Oh, here
It's
we are.
just
Here we are. 15 minutes in, we're talking about our fantasy teams.
Dak Prescott, James Cook. I have. Hey, you're coming at me. You're attacking.
I'm not attacking. I gave you I didn't even know you had
Oh, you knew.
Jonathan. No, I didn't. I'm in too many leagues to know who you had.
Jonathan Taylor's sitting there, but I also have Brian Robinson who's going into there. My running backs are James Cook, Brian Robinson. AJ Brown's been playing down recently. He should come up in coming weeks. Stephon Diggs has been playing down as well. You should see more out of him. And you guys were 100% correct. I should have drafted CeeDee Lamb over Stephon Diggs. I just hate taking a Cowboys player and just being that dude. And then, the guy that I drafted for tight end, Jake Ferguson. So
Awesome. Thanks for that roundup of the fantasy team that nobody cares about. For more
Everyone
fantasy
cares.
advice, please tune in tomorrow.
and
Pamela, I'll be there.
you can have conversation with me in the chat, making Dirtbad Dave, if he is there, angry, and Josh Kimmel upset because I am just calling him out on every little thing that he says.
That's right. And I've been right about Tua all along. All along.
But I'm going to say this as far as Tua goes. I need to see adversity happen, and then once that happens, we'll be good. But we are way past our time, so let's wrap this show up. Any last thoughts before I give my little spiel?
I do have some last thoughts. Justin Fields is the worst. And hold on. The Chargers, Justin Herbert's not as good as Tua. That's all I got to say. I just wanted to bring that up before we left.
Oh, well, with that, we have to
I got
congratulate.
one more thing. I'm just scrolling down the games to see if there's anything I want to talk about real quick. And Mac Jones is trash. All right, that's it.
Well, with that, we do have to congratulate our fellow Fins Talk Sports.
I got one more.
Okay.
Clutch. I know you hear me, Clutch. We've been arguing on Twitter. Cody Rhodes sucks.
A new Fins Talk Sports baby has entered.
We have babies?
Yeah, we have a baby, so we do have to congratulate them. Brett welcomed a new baby into the world. So congratulations.
Is it a boy or girl, little Brett?
Not sure yet.
Wow.
So with that, make sure to follow us on our socials, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Mugs and Balls is ours. Fins Talk Sports is the network's. Also join our Discord, which is shown on Twitter. And then make sure to tune in. I believe it is either at 9:15 or 9:30. The East 10th Street Boys. They are actually going to come up with their cereal awards for this week's winner. So they're going to have the Captain Crunch Defensive Player of the Week, things of that nature. So make sure to tune in for that. I'll be there. Thank you, Pamela, for joining the discussion. Hopefully we see you next week.
Good night.
And good night.